All right, everyone. Hello and welcome. Happy new moon in Aries. Today, as I mentioned, we are going to be diving into another one of my home practices that I am very much looking forward to sharing with you. That is Kundalini Yoga. So, before we begin, I want to predicate that the world of Kundalini Yoga, if you are new to this practice, is very vast. Each practice can be vastly different from one another. We have kriyas that are highly physical, where we're sweating and we're exercising the body. We have meditations where we're seated and still. We use mantra. And so I really encourage you with exploring this practice, if maybe the one today doesn't land for you, to keep exploring this practice and feel how it might have a different effect on you. So what is Kundalini Yoga? Kundalini is a word that we hear quite often today in the wellness world, and there are a few things that I want to make clear. The first is that Kundalini Yoga itself is not Kundalini activation. So that's a question I get quite frequently from my students. Are we going to be having these convulsions of energy moving? And the answer is maybe. You never know what can happen in a yoga practice, but it is not intentionally activating this energy just for that sake. It is a complete system and a yogic technology that includes asana, posture, breath, mantra, and so really at the core of this practice, we call it a yogic technology. It's a complete science weaving together all of these different aspects. And the few that we can have in mind to be very clear on is our breath, which we'll be working with today, mantra, which we work with in every Kundalini Yoga session or meditation, and then we have the asana, or some sort of posture. And within this, we have mudra, which is a particular placement of the hands. One really powerful message that I want to relate when speaking about Kundalini Yoga is that it's activating our own internal energy. And in this breath, I want to remind us that Kundalini Yoga is non-denominational. We don't need to believe any specific thing. We don't need to subscribe to any particular thought, school, religion, spiritual practice. It really is about you and you, our relationship with ourself, and cultivating, excavating our own energy from within, activating it so that we can use it in our lives and feel sovereign, empowered, energetic, clear-minded, and neutral-minded to go about our life authentically and living from a place of deep truth. So there is no goal in a yogic practice necessarily, but we have this word yoga, or to yoke, and really the only thing that we maybe are attempting, not necessarily a goal, attempting to experience in any yoga practice, but particularly Kundalini Yoga, is to bring together a finite experience, which is our human body in the present moment, with the infinite. So yoking the infinite with the finite. And so what does this look like? What does this mean? This looks like manipulating our biochemistry through breath, through movement. This looks like deep meditation so that we can have an experience of infinity. And this can feel and look different for every single person that practices. It can be a communion with the divine. It can be a sense of belonging, a sense of oneness with all that is. But it's a really profound practice. And we're going to start today on that note with a beautiful meditation called To Experience Infinity. Because we are embarking on a sound journey after, I wanted to choose a Kundalini practice that is very mellow. We're just going to be using the breath, which can be quite activating, a simple mudra, and then settling in for the sound bath. Why we're practicing today, which wasn't intentional. I chose this date and then looking at it a couple weeks ago, realized it was the new moon in Aries, which fits very well with the theme that we're doing today. Is this new moon, in general, new moons are a time for us to just think about the cycle that is closing before we go into that growing, more expansive energy of the moon waxing. But new moons are a time where we can go into our inner darkness a bit. The skies are dark, the moon is dark, and we can take that sign from nature to go within and have a deeper, more internal practice. And Aries itself is this energy of initiation, of our raw initiation in life. And so we can take this practice and the energy of this new moon to cultivate and expand that energy within, and then go into this new cycle and birth whatever needs to be birthed, or simply plant seeds for something much longer term. So if you haven't already, I'll leave it there for now, just given time so we have time to immerse in the sound bath. Please find a comfortable seat. We'll be doing a seated meditation and not moving. So you can use your mat if you're seated in a chair. You're also welcome to be seated against a wall. And we want to have a posture that allows us to be alert but comfortable. So if you need to place any cushions underneath the knees, you can also elevate the sit bones. You can take full lotus if that's in your practice. But just close down the eyes and let's take a minute to breathe deeply and to come out of our morning or our evening or our day and immerse in the meditation for the next 40 minutes or so. If you have headphones, I recommend using them even for the meditation. And in the Kundalini Yoga lineage, we always open a practice with a mantra. And we are going to chant Om Namo Gurudev Namo 3 times. You're welcome to join along. I'll put the words in the chat and in the description of this video so you can learn this chant and open your own practice with it. But Om Namo Gurudev Namo is a way that we say to come online, to connect to the golden chain, to open up our practice and connect to the teachers within and without and across time that have shared these teachings verbally for a long, long time. So Om Namo Gurudev Namo. We'll bring the hands together. You can rub them just in front of the heart center. And then bring them into a prayer mudra at the heart, allowing your thumbs to rest gently on the sternum, pressing the palms together. This is a somewhat active posture, relaxing the shoulders down the back, keeping the forearms parallel to the ground. And we can find a gentle tuck of the chin. Eyes are closed, and we'll chant 3 times Om Namo Gurudev Namo. This is I bow to the creative wisdom. I bow to the divine teacher within. And we'll inhale to chant. Inhale deep. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Inhale deep. Hold the breath, press the palms together. And exhale. Keep the palms in the position that they're in. Prayer at the heart, eyes are closed. And we'll now chant a protection mantra 3 times as well, envisioning a glowing white light around the body, to the right, to the left, the back, the front, up and down, creating this orb of glowing white light to protect the mind, the heart, and create this space for your practice. Inhale. Angure name, Jugadgure name, Satgure name, Siddhi Gurudeve name. Adgure name, Jugadgure name, Satgure name, Siddhi Gurudeve name. Adgure name, Jugadgure name, Satgure name, Siddhi Gurudeve name. Inhale deep and hold the breath at the top. Inhale, inhale. You can engage the root lock by pulling the belly up and in, the sex organs up and in, holding the breath gently, tucking of the chin. Good. And exhale, allow the hands to float down to the knees. Allow them to rest down on the knees or up facing the sky. And for the remainder of this session, I invite you to keep your eyes closed as much as possible. And keep your attention on the internal. Feeling now your heartbeat, your breath. And now we'll move with the meditation. So this is to experience infinity. The mudra that we'll take is bringing the thumb and the pinky finger together and allowing this shape to come through with the rest of the fingers splayed upwards. And just holding it gently in front of the chest. It's somewhat active in the hands, so we'll have to concentrate on keeping the shape and directing our energy in this way. But it shouldn't be too uncomfortable in the shoulders just yet. We'll be here for some time, a couple of minutes. And once we get into the practice, I will bring in a sacred mantra that will be playing in the background, so you can bring your attention to this mantra and with the breath repetition. So we have our mudra, we have our hand placement, and the breath will be a deep, full inhale through pursed lips, through open mouth. And then a very strong exhale through the nose. And as you exhale, bringing the navel point back in to push all of the air out of the body. So that will look and sound a little bit like this. Inhaling through the mouth. And exhaling through the nose as the navel retracts to push all the air out. Good, and that's the meditation. So I'm going to bring in the music and leave you to practice. If the mind wanders, just remember to bring your focus back to the mantra, the mudra, your seated posture, and the breath coming in through the mouth and out through the nose. So when we use quite a bit of force for a strong inhale like this, and an equally strong exhale through the nose, bringing the navel in, we might find this breath to be very activating. It can cause a rush of energy in the body. We might experience a little bit of numbness as possible, a change in temperature, even a feeling of lightheadedness. This is all normal and safe, but of course, if you start to feel extremely lightheaded or uncomfortable at any moment, just bring the breath down and breathe slowly through the mouth, exhale through the nose, or you can just return to long, slow, deep breathing and enjoy the sound of the mantra and your mudra. Wonderful. So we'll bring the mantra in, coming into your mudra. Begin with the breath, inhaling through the mouth. Exhaling through the nose. navel in as you exhale through the nose, all of the air out of the body. And go deep into the breath, deep into your own mind and practice. Good. Inhale deeply through the mouth. Hold the breath. And float in the suspension. And exhale the breath out. Allow the palms to come down. Breath returns to long, slow, and deep. Just have an experience of your heart, your breath, your body. And hopefully with the intention of this meditation is that all we need is to close our eyes, to come back to our breath, and we can have this experience of infinity. We can experience time in a different way. You're welcome to stay in this seated meditation for as long as you'd like. Otherwise, you can grab your headphones, your eye mask, and prepare to receive sound. Covering the eyes, bringing in some darkness, covering yourself with a blanket. Maybe you have some socks. And maybe something came up for you in this meditation. Busy thoughts, rapid thoughts, unwelcome or unkind thoughts. And this is where sound can come in and help us alchemize this experience. The frequencies, the sound can quite literally hit our bodies and work its way through our tissues, our fascia, our bones, the liquids of our body, and invite a state of coherence, to vibrate ourselves into a more relaxed state, a more receptive state. Knowing that doesn't mean that experiencing sound and experiencing these meditations is always easy or pleasurable, but they are impactful. So now that you're laying down or in whichever comfortable position, you can bring one hand to the belly, one hand to the heart, or just rest your hands on the floor beside you, but take a deep, 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 deep inhale. Release the jaw, open the mouth, exhale, let out your day, let out a sigh. And just let the sound take you away and rest for a little while. take a deep inhale through the nose. Hold the breath just slightly at the top. And then release a big, long sigh as you exhale out of the mouth. Taking 2 more full rounds of intentional breath. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. You can place one hand on the heart, one hand on the belly. And I hope that you can remain in this relaxing position, perhaps in sleep, a nap, or in a meditative state for a little while longer. But I will leave you here. I wish you all a deep exploration of your own inner landscape, the infinite layers of your own human mind, your memories, your emotions, and that this sound and meditation can help you have that infinite experience of your own soul, of your own self. And have a beautiful rest of your day or evening, wherever you are, and I'll leave you here. Thank you so much for joining, and Sat Nam. If you have any questions or would like to speak about anything that happened in the practice, I'll remain here for a few moments more. Feel free to pop it in the chat. Otherwise, I will send out the replay and the next date for May already, for our date to gather then. Have a wonderful evening, everyone. Sat Nam.
Nirname